Hey, greetings and welcome everybody. Today, as you can see, I'm at my desk and slash workbench here, which I'll show you in a minute what we're doing today. But first, we talk about how to use our time wisely in any business, not just necessarily the vending business, although it is important. We can get sidetracked easily, especially when we're out and we're on the route, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so this morning I get on the messenger with a customer, somebody in one of our groups that's kind of somewhat of an inventor. He likes little projects, and so do I. So he said, gee, do you make custom wiring harnesses? Well, we do make some wiring harnesses here, mainly for the stuff that's obsolete. We can't repair something. We make new harnesses. So we spend a lot of time researching parts. We buy most of our stuff from DigiKey online because they have a very good customer service line. You can send them photos. I've even sent parts in before, a whole box of stuff, and said, hey, tell me what all these part numbers are. I mean, 15 of them, 20 of them, and they did. They gave me a whole list of stuff, and the problem is when you're dealing with parts, this little simple harness, this is just an MDB extension that's about 1.5 feet long. Well, you have that end, which is the male end, and then you have pins. This end, the female end, once again you have pins. So you've got 1, 2, the pins are different on both ends, 3, 4. You have 4 items plus the sheath plus the wires. Now we use wires that are all in one. In other words, we don't use a sheath too often. We get wire like this, comes out on the end. So I told this gentleman, I said, the problem with custom harnesses is you spend more time researching what's needed. Now, if I have the components, if I have the parts, no problem. I have a lot of wire, 2-strand, 3-strand, all the way up to 10-strand, maybe even some 12. So then I got an idea, and I've been wanting to do this for about 2 months. How many people have MDB mechs and they can't test them? They don't have one of these $1,000 testers like we do. So I got to thinking, everybody's got a garage or a shop, and they might have a soda machine in that shop, in the garage, but it's not close enough to the bench. So they've got to grab their mech, they got to go over and they got to plug it in. Maybe something's in the way, they can't get the door open. So this is an 8-foot MDB cord. Okay, as you can see, both ends. This is just merely like an extension cord. So what the idea of this is, this plugs in like so. You're going to plug one end in to your coin mech, the other end now all the way across the garage or the shop 8 feet away to any MDB vending machine, whether it be a snack or a soda. So now you've got this on the bench. You can actually test this without having it crammed into the vending machine where you really can't see what's going on. You can lift it up, you can see if you've got slides stuck in there. So anyways, I'll put some of these on the website. We'll start selling them. We're not making any money on them, so to speak, but I think 8 feet is going to be enough. If anybody ever says, gee, I really could use a 12-footer or something like that, well, we can make them up. So anyways, what I started to get into was the fact of the time. So a custom harness like this, I had the components, I had the parts, the ends and the pins are easy, but I got involved in another little project for another conversion that I'll get into on another video because we're not done. I spent no less than an hour and a half online researching the proper ends before I could order them. So then I ordered $150 worth of parts, which is sort of a small order because I'm pretty well stocked up on components. And I noticed, we've all gotten used to paying sales tax, the $150 order had a $15, because it ended up being almost $200. It has a $15 tariff. Yeah, Most of this stuff's imported from China, all these ends anyways. So my $153 order, I think, was $195, and that includes just regular ground freight, sales tax, and this tariff. So guys, when you look at something like this, got a couple ends and 8 feet of wire, and you think, oh, that should be $5. The reason it's 30 or 35 is because A, it's limited quantity. We're making 6 of them at a time, maybe. So anyways, guys, that's the way I started my day. Let me show you kind of what's involved here as far as making maybe one harness. This is my very cluttered bench. As you can see, we keep our components and goodies in bins like this. We've got tons of them on the wall. We've actually bought a total of 96 of these. So anyways, getting back to the tester, some of us, the guys that are kind of in the resale end of it, they have one of these CT3s. They're made in Canada. By the time you buy the extras, it's $1,000 shipped. So anyways, here's the components. Here's all the little, I've got probably 25 of these little cups full of pins. And ironically, this by Vice Grips is the best stripper I've ever owned. It's awesome. This is pretty much brand new. I bought it this year, but I also have maybe 6 or 8 different crimpers like this. This is an old Molex crimper that came out of a toolbox from an old mechanic that passed, and I bought this at an auction in a toolbox. This is absolutely the best one, and I use it, and somebody told me it was probably built in the 60s. So anyways, let's get to a little business here. A lot of guys have got insurance on their mind. They talk about, gee, I have to insure my vending machines. Well, I got news for you. Insure your vending machines or your business is 2 different things. Your business, you've got to have liability insurance to get in most locations. Now, Ma and Pa tire shop, they're not going to require you to carry that policy with you. But the big places, the big corporations, one of the first things they're going to ask you is, we need a copy of your insurance. I used to do service calls up till 4 or 5 years ago in Vegas, and a lot of times I couldn't drive onto the property the first time just in my regular work truck or van without showing the guard proof of insurance, and then they would want to have a copy of it for their files as you came and went. So you people that run these routes got to have insurance. I think $1 million or $2 million liability policy, it's about $600 a year now. It keeps creeping up. Last time I had it for being on the street was about $475. So anyways, as far as insuring your vending machines, it's not cost effective, guys. I have had a couple customers, probably only 2, that actually said, oh yeah, he said, I got insurance, and you know, blah blah blah, and this is back in the day, maybe in the video game era. And the first time they either had a break-in, a vandalism, a theft of the whole machine, and they put a claim in for $800, and their yearly premium back there might have only been $300 or $400, they got canceled. So I think it's better to be self-insured, guys. Put some money aside. Vandalism and theft, break-ins, it's all a part of this business. It has to be figured in. It's one of those, when you're figuring out your taxes at the end of the year and you've taken in $1 million, well, 30,000 of that or 20,000 of that, 2 or 3%, is going to have to be figured in for equipment replacement, whether it's either by theft or by vandalism. So as far as insurance, guys, insurance salesmen will hate me to hear this. Get the liability insurance. The other, to protect your equipment, is just too expensive. It's just not going to work out. Equipment now is so expensive. I don't know what the fees would be, the premiums would be, but trust me, you insure a $6,000 crane, you know, combo, maybe $7,000. The premium's going to be just outrageous. You're better to put that money aside and just repair it as it happens by itself. So anyways, guys, I thought it was kind of funny. our little MDB extension for the shop. Great idea. It's taken me 2 months to build one, and I am going to build more. But I'll put a link to my site down below, guys. If this helps you, great. I'm glad I could be here for you. And for now, Doug at Doug's World Tour talking about vending today. Out.